point.
Okay, never disagree with me.
Tempers flare
What do you know about business?
I built a £300 million business at 28 years old.
Wow.
as dragons bay for blood
Stop it.
This sounds like a biscuit tin with no biscuits in it.
from each other
I am asking what their business does.
I'm trying to help.
and entrepreneurs.
You're gonna lose the money, so stay away from it.
Okay.
It'll take something extraordinary
There aren't many people who can stop me saying those two words.
or something sweet
Quite fancy a hot chocolate.
to give these titans something to think about.
Do you ever feel like toilet paper doesn't clean you up all the way?
You've got a great way with words.
Stop dreams from going up in smoke
I can't think what is on my balance sheet. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
and be the start of something special.
I want to make you guys proud.
Welcome to Dragon's Den, the business bear pit in which entrepreneurs must fight tooth and nail to win the backing of a dragon. First to face the dragons are Giorgia Granata from Italy and her Kiwi husband, Ellie Krapko. The couple are hoping that where there's muck, there'll also be brass.
Whenever somebody thinks about doing their business in the toilet, they're going to think about our brand.
In the den, a display designed to highlight the planet-saving potential of Georgia and Ellie's business has already got the dragons talking.
I think that's fat balls, isn't it?
That's fat balls.
Yeah, that's what ends up in sewers. Have you not seen them, fat birds?
No.
They're massive. They're like the size of that lift, stuck in sewers.
Oh.
But Georgia's confident that an investment today won't be money down the drain.
What a win for a dragon to say, yeah, I'm in the poop business. Hi, I'm Georgia,
And I'm Ellie.
and we're the founders at Wipe. Wipe is the eco-friendly way to clean up down there. Today, we're asking for £50,000 in exchange for 2% equity. Do you ever feel like toilet paper doesn't clean you up all the way? After all, dry doesn't clean. You wouldn't clean your dishes with a dry washcloth. And certainly if you had poo on your arm, you wouldn't be satisfied with just wiping it with dry tissue. So why do we feel any different about toilet paper? When I moved to the UK from Italy 5 years ago, I was desperately missing my bidet. And I found out that here it's quite common to use wet wipes. In fact, in the UK, 11 billion wet wipes are used each year. And of those, hundreds of millions are flushed, where they cause 300,000 sewer blockages every year. Here you can see a fatberg. A full-size fatberg like the one that occurred in Whitechapel was 250 meters long and weighed 130 tons. And I told myself, there has to be a better way to solve this problem. So I teamed up with Ellie, and we created Wiped and launched it last September.
Simply apply our specially formulated 99% natural gel onto regular toilet tissue to instantly turn it into an efficient, 100% biodegradable and genuinely flushable toilet wipe. We're on a mission to redefine toilet time, and we'd love to have you along for the ride.
A cleansing gel which transforms a sheet of regular toilet paper into an environmentally friendly wet wipe is the offering from Georgia Granata and Ellie Krapko.
And all you do, dispense one pump on toilet tissue, spread it, wipe, then flush it just like normal toilet paper.
They're seeking a £50,000 investment in return for 2% of their clean green company. But something he heard in their pitch has thrown Peter Jones.
Georgia and Ellie.
Yeah.
The thing that really hit me was you said that it helps you when you have poo on your arm. So I'm a bit confused. I've been doing it wrong all these years.
I wouldn't know about that, but some nationalities it's acceptable to leave residue on their private parts, when rationally, if it was on any other part of your body, on your knee, on your elbow, on your hand, you would never.
Okay, so this is a product for your bum,
Absolutely.
not
Yes.
for your arm.
I was just
Absolutely.
making an
Oh,
example.
great. So in other words, you've got to take a gel product, put it onto toilet paper,
Exactly.
Yeah.
and then wipe your bottom.
Exactly.
Okay.
Who's your nearest competitor?
Andrex.
So Andrex are doing this, are they?
No, so Andrex are doing flushable wipes.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't mean flushable wipes. Because I have myself received samples outside of the den of two businesses that are currently doing this, but instead of saying it's about toilets at all, they've just said turn your tissue into a wet wipe. One of them is in one of the big supermarkets. So why this and not the one that's already out there and actually quite well distributed?
So I think I know both the ones you're talking about. It's a different proposition. It's a spray. A spray will do exactly what water will do, which is it will break the tissue.
Yeah, and also the eco-friendly angle isn't really covered very well. The packaging is plastic, our bottle is aluminium, so I feel that our product is really superior in every way from that point of view.
Georgia and Ellie believe their product has an environmental edge over the competition. Now, Stephen Bartlett wants to establish if the couple have the CVs to transform the nation's WCs.
Really fascinating business. What's your professional background?
My background is in product development in the fashion and luxury industry.
Why are you smirking?
Just because now I'm in the butt business. and I used to work in luxury. That's all.
And my background, I was in the New Zealand Air Force for 10 years, and then since moving to London, I've been in e-commerce.
Guys, I really, really get it. I think the concept's brilliant, and I think I can visualise it for me. I don't know if I want to say that. But also, I've got young kids. I have to come and help with the whole bum wiping situation, so I can totally see that this is much better to 4 or 5 goes with the toilet roll.
Yeah.
But my worry, because I'm sure any one of us could open the door to put this on a shelf tomorrow, but it's not putting it on the shelf that's the challenge, it's getting it off the shelf.
Yeah.
To raise awareness for a problem that maybe 90-odd% of the population didn't realise existed, and to change a consumer buying habit, is going to take an enormous marketing spend.
Maybe it seems like a lot of people don't know about this problem, but actually we really believe that with the right branding, which we've already built, we just have to push past the adoption curve, and then it's just going to take off. I'm sure about it.
Yeah, I tend to think it's the education piece, because you need to lead a change in behaviour, and I think influencers are a good way to do that, who can really help change how people think about wiping their bottoms.
The wall that we keep running into is that when you get influencers and ask them to talk about wiping your butt, a lot of them will politely decline.
What you basically need to do is get a piece of tissue paper, put some brown mud on it, and get an influencer to hold it, and then that should be enough to stop the thumb in a timeline. But you need to go for the provocation.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
Getting Georgia and Ellie's product to go viral is a challenge that's clearly intrigued the den's resident social media maestro. But Tuka Suleiman believes the duo could be overlooking a more straightforward route to market.
I'm quite big in the baby business. So have you sold any to babies?
Not to babies, but to their parents.
Have you sold to any baby retailers?
Yeah. Our thought was that the baby market was so overcrowded, and we wanted to address the throwaway culture to adults, also while working on the wet wipe issue.
I think you might find that the children baby market is easier. Parents will talk about their babies cleaning their bottoms. It's much easier.
I don't think so.
Sorry?
I think you've positioned yourself in the least saturated part of the market. Otherwise, you're in there with bloody talcum powder and all of these other children products, which it's impossible.
What I'm saying here is that if you've got mothers who are very eco-minded and who are using wipes, they now see that they can get around this problem.
I tend to disagree with Tuka's point.
They never disagree with me, because I've got a lot more experience than you've got.
Social media?
What do you know about business?
What do I know about business, Tuka? I built a £300 million business at 28 years old.
Oh, come on, please.
What did I say?
Nothing, carry on. Talk about social media.
As I was saying before Tuka got triggered there, I tend to disagree with Tuka about the positioning and the narrative. So I think in terms of finding an interesting social narrative, this grown-ups with dirty butts thing I think is pretty compelling, right? However, I'm sitting here and trying to decide whether I want to be in the butt business. For me, squirting a gel onto a piece of tissue paper, I can't seem to get myself excited about it. So for that reason, I'm going to say that I'm out.
Georgia and Ellie have lost their first dragon, as despite a heated exchange, Stephen Bartlett goes cold on the deal. when it comes to the frequently thorny issue of valuation, Peter Jones is just getting warmed up.
Am I right in thinking that you're valuing this concept at $2.5 million?
Yes, correct. We've raised investment at the start of the year at the valuation $2 million.
How much of the company did you sell?
5%.
So you got 100k?
Yep.
Okay. I'm genuinely concerned that the business is going to really struggle. You have nowhere near the amount of capital to launch a business with the ambition that you have. You need to go and raise a few $100,000. But I don't want to be one of those investors that invest 50k and then ultimately I'm diluted. So I'm going to say I'm out. But, good luck. I love the brand, Wipe. I think it's cracking.
Georgia, Ellie, I'm going to tell you where I am. Of course I love what you do. We're on absolutely the same page. But I'm afraid I have been approached by another brand, and their valuation that they offered to me was better.
Yeah.
So I can't see that you would be able to meet my valuation expectations. So I'm not going to waste anybody's time. I'm out.
Thank you.
Ellie, Georgia, my big worry is you are so fundamentally trying to change a habit, and that is going to cost potentially millions. The 50 grand I give you today is going to go in the blink of an eye, and I'd be little Miss Moneybags that everybody's looking at. So best of luck with it, but I can't invest, and I'm out.
4 dragons have now bowed out. Only Tuka Suleiman remains. Will he have glimpsed sufficient potential in Georgia and Ellie's product to justify tabling a £50,000 bid?
You are very credible,
Thank you.
but the way that I see it, you've got to get this into people's hands.
Yep.
The only way you can really do that is through retail or distributors. So probably, I'm your ideal dragon. I can see this in the baby world. We know all the stores, and I like the product. I'm going to make you an offer. I'll offer you all the 50,000, but I want 15%.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Should we talk to the...
Yep.
An offer from Tuka Suleiman, who is keen to add Georgia and Ellie's enterprise to his portfolio of infant-related businesses.
I don't think we should just drop this. Yeah, I don't find...
Will his extensive contacts in the baby world be enough to tempt the couple into a change of strategy?
Tuka, thank you very much for the offer. However, I don't think that we completely align on which way this business should go and how it should grow. And while I think that you could bring a huge amount of value, I think for us it just doesn't quite make sense at this time.
Fine. In that case, I'm out.
Thank you all so much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tuka Suleiman may be tops in business, but when it comes to generating a profit from bottoms, Georgia and Ellie simply didn't buy into his vision.
Why? Why not? What is it about the butts? I would have loved to walk away with a dragon, but if we have to reconsider everything that the business is rooted on, then it's just not worth it for me.
But the entrepreneurs are keeping their cool, following an encounter in which the dragons themselves absorbed the heat.
I think the fire between Stephen and Tuka was interesting to see, but I think it was all part of the course.
I'm Italian, so it didn't even register.
Stephen, what happens in the den stays in the den.
That's fine.
Innovations in the den are often born out of an entrepreneur's own personal circumstances. For Sheila Hogan, it was an experience of grief which led her to create a digital solution to help loved ones through difficult times.
The problem that it solves is universal, and we are in the right place at the right time to really get a global market share.
And Sheila is so confident in her idea, she staked her future on it.
I have put my pension in to get this off the ground, so that's a huge risk, but I've complete belief that this will happen. I'm Sheila Hogan, founder of Biscuit Tin, a tech company that helps people manage their end-of-life affairs. I'm looking for an investment of $50,000 for an equity share of 5%. Born from my personal experience of closing down the lives of my parents, armed with a biscuit tin full of old papers, and finding out that the way we handle end-of-life today is completely broken. It had always been taboo for Dad to talk about dying. So the amount of decisions that I had to take on his behalf was just overwhelming. The worst one being, what will he wear in his coffin? And torture myself for days, second-guessing whether he wanted to look smart in his suit or casual in his comfy cardi. And it just mattered. And it took me 2 years to close down Dad's life. And it hit me how much more complex my life and most others these days is compared to Dad's. And so, with my digital background, I created Biscuit Tin, the digital secure vault holding all your accounts, wishes, memories, and more in one place, that's then released to those you nominate when you die. Our initial route to market is via commercial partnerships with related life event propositions, life insurance, mortgages, pensions, funeral plans, wills, etc. I see a future where everyone has a digital biscuit tin, a world where we actually use digital tools to plan in advance, create a digital legacy, and make a real difference to those we leave behind. I'd be delighted to invite you to join me on this journey.
A website designed to digitally hold personal documents, memories and wishes in the event of a person's death is the offering from Sheila Hogan. She's asking for £50,000 in return for a 5% stake in her pre-revenue tech business. First to attempt to unlock the potential of the proposition is Sarah Davies.
Thankfully, I've not actually had to go through the process that you've gone through yet. However, the example you chose to give me was a very emotive one.
Yeah.
You know, helping choose what your father was going to wear in the coffin. I hadn't even thought that far ahead. No. I'm worried about all of the bank accounts he's got and the properties and the things he hasn't started. That's the thing that keeps me awake at night, that keeps me on his back.
Yeah.
How much of what you do is structural, high-level stuff, and how much of it is the softer side, like capturing life moments?
It is both. What this is meant to do is pull it all together so they make it easy for those that have to clean everything up.
Well, I love it as an idea, and I have been through it quite recently. And actually, if Sarah was talking about the bits that she wasn't worried about, well, it's funny, when it happens, those are absolutely the bits you worry about.
Yes.
So, who else is doing this, or what's the closest competitor?
There are a couple in the UK and some quite big ones in the US.
What have you got that they're not doing?
The personal story is the key thing. The story around the way Mum and Dad met, for example, their favourite book, their favourite film, things like this, that is then going to pass down the generations.
So the other competitors don't ask me to put stories or... No. And you do?
Yes.
Thank you.
The USP of the Entrepreneur's secure online vault appears to strike a chord with Deborah Meaden. But Peter Jones believes there may be a simpler solution already in existence.
If I want to subscribe to Biscuit Tin, what does it cost me?
Oh, it costs you $49.99 per annum.
But if you want to do something like this and be organised, why would you not just have a Dropbox or something? Because all this is a depository for information, isn't it?
It's that, but guided in a way that prompts you to actually think about all those things, because nobody would know where it was. How would somebody know where your Dropbox is, for example?
Well, you just send them a link. You're going to have to give them access to this.
But they can't get access to it until you die, by uploading your death certificate, which we then validate behind the scenes.
You mentioned you had a digital background in your pitch.
Yes.
Could you give me a little bit more info on that?
Yes, so I've been in technology since I left school at 16. Did coding for a bit, then moved into business analysis, project management, and then for the last probably 15, 20 years, I've focused on designing the way businesses need to operate with digital technology, predominantly for the big corporates.
And who is in your core team?
I've only got 2 part-time staff at the moment, a student who's helping me on the business development side of things, and a part-time kind of admin, PA, office manager.
I just thought the website looked a little bit amateur. The interface looked a little bit low quality. And then to hear that there's not sort of tech expertise within the core team, your digital background is, to be honest, in a different area.
I do have the expertise. I've got a digital specialist I work with pro bono. In terms of the advisory board, though, I've got 3 people who have actually grown, scaled and exited tech businesses. But ultimately, the product roadmap for this is that we get to an internal in-house team.
Yeah, I think that'll be really important because it's a little bit concerning that you don't have that expertise in your team when it's central to your proposition.
Stephen Bartlett questions whether the entrepreneur's team has the know-how to bring her vision to fruition. Now Sarah Davies wants to crunch the numbers of Sheila's ambitious project.
What are you projecting in terms of number of users and revenue?
It's 1,500 users next year and revenue of 65,000. Loss of 620 overall. Year 2, we're looking at 1.5 million revenue for 40,000 customers.
Right, so the loss in the second year?
1 million.
Okay, so just to check all of this, total capital requirement over the next 2 years is 1.62 million.
So the intention in terms of the investment strategy is a 300,000 raise of investments now and 1 million in a year's time.
But that's not going to cover everything you need. So 1.3 million of funding, you're still going to be in the red by 320,000.
Okay. I've obviously said something out of turn in terms of the numbers.
Sheila, this sounds like a biscuit tin with no biscuits in it. 300k fundraise, how much equity are you looking to give away?
30%.
The further 1.3 million you need, how much equity are you going to give away for that fundraise?
Again, 30%.
And if I was to invest 50,000 today at 5%, what will I end up with?
It would be diluted.
To no biscuits in a tin. There's nothing left, is there?
My big concern is whatever stake I take now is going to be so highly diluted that it's high risk up here, but potentially not the high reward at the other end. So I won't be investing and I'm out.
The prospect of an expensive investment with a dwindling return leads to a short and sweet rejection from Sarah Davies, who becomes the first dragon to decline. And Stephen Bartlett has also made up his mind on the biscuit tin proposition.
Based on what I've seen from the design, the quality of the technology that you've got, and your background, these are all very high-level technical things, and your experience isn't in that area. So, honestly, if I was you, completely stay away from trying to build a tech company. You're going to lose the money, and you're going to have your lunch eaten by Dropbox, Google, the big US tech players, so stay away from it. So, with all of that in mind, I'm going to say that I'm out, but I'm going to wish you the very best.
Thank you, Steve.
An emphatic warning from Stephen Bartlett, who fears the tech startup could be eaten up by the big players. But e-commerce giant Peter Jones has had doubts whether there's even an appetite for the product in the marketplace.
The issue that I have is the fact that I get the concept, but to now have to pay for that concept, I'm not convinced that that's something that everybody would just want to sign up to. And with all the other solutions available to me, like Dropbox, it's not a business that I'm going to want to invest in, so sadly I'm out.
Sheila, I like the idea. What I don't like is your plan, where you're going to lose 1.6 million in the next 2 years. So unfortunately, for that reason, I'm out.
4 dragons have now walked away from an investment. Deborah Meaden has previously indicated her heart could be in the project, but will her head share the vision?
I think it's a really interesting one because I think the automated bit is going to become really important because we don't want to live with this in our lives all of the time. So I get that. My big concern for you is every time I've embarked on something like this, it costs twice as much money and the consumers are more costly than I thought to engage. It's just not my style of investment. But I reckon you'll work it out. So I wish you all of the best, and I certainly wish that I'd had something like business in my life a year ago. But good luck. But I won't be investing, Sheila. I'm out.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sheila.
Good luck,
Sheila.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Sheila's hopes of an investment may have crumbled, but she leaves the den with a renewed determination to prove the dragons wrong.
Do you know what? I feel good. The whole experience has just been tremendous. I think the only thing I take issue with is Stephen's perception that I don't have the skills, because I can build a tech company, and I will.
Dragons are known for their fiery rage.
You would make my butt itch, mate.
Howie, shut it. Listen.
But if there's one thing guaranteed to put them in a good mood, it's the patter of noisy little feet in the den. Products for kids can always be relied on to bring out the dragon's playful sides.
Up and down.
Even if they do have their own unique set of potentially pungent problems.
I've got a feeling she's going to do it.
The den's first ever baby product was its first ever pitch back in 2005, when Graham Whitby brought along his self-rocking pushchair.
The baby dream machine? Oh, we...
But it's fair to say nerves got the better of Graham.
The business... I'm a father of three, okay, so... Very sorry. So when we first started out with the venture, the business... I can't do it. Okay.
Would you like to answer questions?
No, I'm gonna start again. I'm gonna compose myself. Okay. We're today here looking for £150,000. Oh my God. It's dreadful.
5 years later, there were no nerves on show for Jacqueline McKay, who pitched her multifunctional cot in her own unique way.
Dragons, help angel caught. Let's show the world we care. Children are our future. The love that we provide will nourish them. Help angel caught. Let's bring this dream to life.
In 2017, baby products were still going strong when Sinead and Adam Murphy arrived at the den with their carry cot.
It's a lot stronger than traditional baskets.
A bold claim which Tuka Suleiman was keen to test for himself.
That.
Oh, to break it.
Sorry, we do test it for the weight of the baby, but yeah.
Has it been tested for a Tuka baby? Don't help him out, don't help him out. This is... Whoa!
No, it's done it.
It's done it.
Hoping her baby-based business is robust enough to survive the Dragon's Road test is tonight's next entrepreneur, Sophie Hepworth.
I'm not a product designer creating products based on margins. I'm creating products that mums like me really, really want. Hi Dragons, my name is Sophie Hepworth, founder of By Sophie and inventor of the multi-award winning Little Hopper. I'm here today to pitch for £75,000 in exchange for a 5% share in both Little Hopper and the wider By Sophie business. Little Hopper is the world's first alternative to plastic 3-in-1 baby system that offers parents looking for eco-friendly and super stylish baby products an unrivaled shelf life from 0 to 4 years old. Its transformational design allows it to adapt from a baby gym to a baby bouncer and finally a children's activity table. After almost 2 years, we finally managed to bring our product to market in January of this year. Since then, we have secured 9 retail stockists and we have sold our product into 26 countries across the globe. I welcome the Dragons to come and take a closer look and open up to questions.
We've got a nominated dragon that always comes up and tries baby products, and that's Tuka.
Try not to break it, Tuka.
I will try it.
Okay.
I'll try it.
A planet-friendly, multifunctional system for babies is the product on offer from Sophie Hepworth.
finishing quality.
Thank you.
She's asking for a £75,000 investment for a 5% slice of her company.
That is really strong.
It's very strong, so it will take up to a 2-year-old.
That's great.
Peter Jones is the first to jump in on the hopper.
Now I've had my dragon baby testers do their work, we can talk to you about the product.
Yes.
Tell me about the journey. When did you start?
When I became a mum for the first time, about 4 years ago, I was sat in my lounge and I looked around, and everywhere that I could see there was baby tat, and it did not look like my house anymore. And I searched and spent many a late night feed looking for, initially, a wooden baby bouncer. It just didn't exist. There was nothing out there in this space alternative to plastic. So that was, I guess, where the business started. But at the time, the idea of Little Hopper, which I'd sketched out, and is pretty much what you see here today, it just seemed too big to tackle, so I sat on it for a while. So that was back in 2016. So in 2018...
Yes, I don't want to actually live the 5 years with you.
Okay.
Sorry to be quite blunt, I've got limited time, so I want to get the answers to my questions.
That's okay. So in 2018, I made the decision, crazily, to sell my house to fund the first order of this and to invest in the tooling and the testing and everything else.
You sold your house?
I did.
Wow.
I didn't want to ask anyone for it.
Okay.
I believed that I could do this
great.
and that it would make me money.
What's been the total sales since you launched?
So we've just had 6 months of trading.
Perfect.
And Little Hopper is 136,000.
Yeah. Gross profit?
66.
And net?
We're on a minus 84 at the moment.
84?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sophie,
Yes.
I totally get it. I've
Thank
been
you.
there, sat in the room, looked at the big plastic pile of rubbish. If only you'd had this out 7 years ago.
Yeah,
I
I've
would
heard that a
totally
lot.
have bought one.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
So, what does it retail for?
The 3-in-1 is $399, and the baby bouncer we sell on its own at $299.
Wow, so, I mean, it's lovely, but it really is at the luxury end.
Premium.
But I think the thing that's really important to mention is our baby bouncer has a shelf life of 2 years. It's really robust and it takes a 2-year-old. The products that are on the market, they last 3 to 4 months on average. The price of our product, I would argue, is cheaper than the plastic alternative.
Well,
price
that's
per
interesting you
use.
say that. My baby bouncer that I bought 7 years ago,
Yeah.
£60, that's been recycled through 3 kids and is still going. So we've had a good 6 years of heavy use out of ours at £60. So I do think you're at the very high-end luxury, not the mass market end of the market.
A stumbling block for Sophie as Pennywise parent Sarah Davies questions the price point of her product. Can the entrepreneur bounce back into favour with the king of the kindergarten, Tuka Suleiman?
Well done.
Thank you.
I can see there's a lot of attention gone to that.
Thank you.
And a lot of sweat and tears.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you've lost 80,000 in 6 months.
Only because of the setup costs for the tooling, photography, videography, websites.
Can I just check, do you have any assets at all on your balance sheet? Any tooling or any...
Yeah, just the tools.
So how much was in the tooling?
I'm not sure, I'm sorry.
I do need to understand the mechanics of the business. A gross profit of 66,000 and a loss of £84,000.
Yeah.
Now, between your gross profit and your loss, you've spent £150,000. What on?
Okay, so we've spent £39,000 on product design.
That's good, that's valid.
Yeah, we've spent, I think it's about £35,000 on marketing. Salaries, I'm paying myself £12,500. Website, that was around about £10,000. Anything IP related, we've had quite a lot of legal costs.
How much?
About £4,000.
Okay, at the moment you've identified 100 out of 150. There's something quite substantial that you've spent your money on.
I'm sorry, I can't think what is on my balance sheet. I'm so sorry.
Transport costs?
All right, Tuka, you tell me then.
I just asked a question, Deborah. I'm trying to help.
I am asking an entrepreneur what their business does.
I think she's in a very difficult position, Deborah, and she's very nervous, and I'm just trying to help. Like I've just said, is transport costs within that you might have forgotten about?
It's possible.
Sophie, I do think from a financial perspective, you really have to understand where you're spending money, what your balance sheet looks like, or if you can't do it, and that's okay, have an advocate side by side that's going to give confidence to an investor that if they're going to hand over cash to you, we're not going to have a conversation to say, Sophie, where did that 50 grand go? And you go, do you know what? I'm so sorry, I don't know. And that's just not good enough. So sadly, I'm out.
Numbers proved to be far from child's play for the baby product designer, prompting Peter Jones to become the first dragon to bail on the business. But it appears both the entrepreneur and her offering have impressed the dragon to his right.
I love the product, and you as an entrepreneur, I feel like we'd get on really, really well. How'd you get to this valuation? 1.5 million?
We have a product here that is world class. It is award winning. The investment is not just in this product, it's in me and the team of people that have created this. And this is the first thing we've done, and we have more products already waiting to go.
You have this special bit, which is that creative genius to create beautiful products that people love. However, I've sat here trying to figure out how this becomes that 8-9 figure, really exciting global brand, and it's just not there. So for that reason, I'm out.
Stephen Bartlett can't foresee Sophie's baby business booming and bows out. And it appears Sarah Davies hasn't bounced back from her earlier concerns that the entrepreneur's product is simply too pricey.
My assessment of the situation
is
that you've designed a product which I would love to go and buy if I was back at that stage in my life, but I'm in the privileged position where I can afford to justify that spend. The majority of parents probably couldn't, which worries me in terms of the mass marketability. And it's for that reason that I wouldn't want to invest. So I'm out.
Sophie, you have invented something lovely, but I'm afraid the commercial side of it, you haven't really got across. The issue with that is that makes it really hard for me as an investor. And when I'm asking you the questions and not Tuka, it's because I want to know what you understand about your business. So I'm afraid I can't invest. I'm out.
Failing to nail her numbers has proven costly for Sophie as Deborah Meaden departs, leaving just Tuka Suleiman as a potential investor. He was in her corner when she faced a tough financial interrogation. Is the baby product bigwig prepared to plug her in to his global operation?
If you had to make a list of all the things that you need, tell me what they are.
I need to have this product stocked in more places than the UK.
Distribution.
Yeah, I probably need help just to make sure that we are getting the product at the best price, and if there's anything further that we can do at that end at sourcing China, that would really help us.
And you need help on running the business, and you get on with creating the product for the brand.
Yeah.
Now, there is a potential, but I'm going to want to be like equal sort of partner. What we'll be able to offer you is a team that can run the business for you on a day-to-day. A fantastic distributor in China. So I'm willing to offer you 100,000, not 75.
Okay.
But I want 45% of the business.
Would you consider coming down from the 45% if I'm able to get you your money back?
That really defeats the whole object of having the incentive to make this happen. So I would stick to my offer, but I would give you access to my whole team, where you can bounce off whatever you want.
On that basis, I would like to accept your offer.
Great. We'll be in touch.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Sophie, well done. You've got a great dragon.
Thank you, guys.
Sophie has done it. She may have given away almost half her company, but she leaves with considerably more cash than she was asking for, and a dragon with an ever-growing portfolio of baby businesses to really push her product.
I kind of thought it was all over, so it was a nice surprise. Tuka knows the baby industry, so I think it's going to be a bright future.
It just fits in my portfolio.
You liked it though, that was the thing.
Yeah, somebody has to have the best, and that's the best.
A sharp mind and mental clarity are often the key to delivering the perfect pitch, which shouldn't be a problem for our final entrepreneurs to enter the den, Zane Peer and Shez Sheikh.
Our products help people find balance and their flow throughout their day. By flow, we mean that time when you have a really good morning and you feel super productive and focused.
Ooh, coffee.
Kind of looks like hot chocolate.
Quite fancy a hot chocolate.
But the two best friends are keeping an open mind on who they would like as an investor today.
What we're after is trying to see which dragon is the most passionate about our business and what their vision is and if it aligns with ours. Hello Dragons, I'm Shez, this is Zane. We've launched London Nootropics, the brand bringing premium, natural nootropics and adaptogens to health-conscious individuals and businesses. We launched in March 2020. We quickly adopted a direct-to-consumer marketing model and drove over £60,000 in revenue in our first 12 months. We're looking for an investment of £50,000 in exchange for 10% equity in our adaptogenic wellness company. Let's have a show of hands. Who's had a coffee today? Fantastic. We're in the right room. We developed 3 adaptogenic coffee blends that give you all the benefits of regular coffee whilst minimizing jitters, anxiety, and a crash. Nootropics help with cognitive function and adaptogens help you balance physical and mental stresses in your body. We have Grind to help with mental clarity and focus, Zen to help alleviate stress and anxiety, and Mojo to give you a natural boost. Mojo has cordyceps mushroom, which is known to increase aerobic capacity and oxygen flow around the body. We help you easily incorporate premium adaptogens deliciously into your daily diet. We'd love for you to try our adaptogenic coffee. You have one of our starter boxes, which is what our first-time customers buy. Thank you.
Coffee blends enhanced with natural substances is the product Zane Peer and Shez Sheikh are hoping will put the dragons in the mood for investment.
The lilac one is Zen, and the green one is Mojo.
They're seeking £50,000 for a 10% share of their business, and they're not afraid to add some schmooze in with their brews.
Dear Peter, you're our favourite dragon. That's so kind.
Hi Stephen, you are our favourite dragon. We hope you invest.
Dear Deborah, you're our favourite dragon.
With the charm offensive hitting the spot, it's over to one of their many favourite dragons, Deborah Meaden, to start the flow of questions.
Guys, can I ask you, does everybody know what adaptogenic coffee is?
It's a new term that we're kind of championing, so other brands would call it a mushroom coffee or a CBD coffee.
Is it magic mushroom?
They're medicinal mushrooms, so they don't have psychedelic effects. You're not going to start hallucinating.
Okay, but the other one is CBD. That's a form of cannabis, isn't it?
It's derived from the cannabis plant, hemp plant. It's non-psychoactive, and it helps us with all sorts of things. So anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, it helps us feel relaxed.
Okay, so there's one thing, having a set of ingredients. How do you know that these are effective as opposed to a marketing tool?
We use a water-soluble, broad-spectrum CBD powder as opposed to an oil. So if you have a CBD oil, if you ingest it, you're not going to absorb much of it. And the broad spectrum means it has other cannabinoids. And that means it has something called the entourage effect. So basically these guys help each other out to achieve those benefits for you.
Okay, I quite liked hearing that because markets are full of these pills that you swallow and they have no effect whatsoever. And the delivery method is really important. I was quite pleased to hear that you differentiated that.
An impressive start, as the coffee entrepreneurs assuage Deborah Meaden's doubts over the efficacy of their product's properties. And it appears Sarah Davies can visualise incorporating the duo's drinks into her health and fitness regime.
So I just want to start out by saying I'm not really a big coffee drinker, but I do like the idea of trying one of them Mojo ones before I go running.
Maybe a subscription in there for you, Sarah?
So, what I want to understand is, you said it was premium. How premium?
The retail price is £15 for a standard box of 12, so that's £1.25 per serving.
So what would an espresso pod cost me?
A third of the price.
Right.
We don't like to compare ourselves directly to just regular coffee because we're not regular coffee.
I understand that. But to go mass market, to make a huge success of this, you're going to have to hit the regular coffee market, who are going to compare it with the price of buying a regular coffee. And that's the worry there.
Zane, Shez, you said you've done 60k revenue since March this year.
Yeah. So in total, since we've launched, we've done £120,000 in revenue, £56,000 gross, and minus £30,000 net. In cash in the bank, we have £25,000, and we also have £25,000 in stock.
Your sales seem pretty low. I was expecting higher levels of sales.
In terms of what we've done to bring in the sales so far, we've spent £37,000 on marketing to drive over £100,000 in our online revenue through our store.
Okay, so why haven't you invested the £25,000 that you've got in marketing to get rid of the stock you have?
We just got that stock in a few weeks ago, and that is literally what we're about to do.
No, I know, but why didn't you do that 3 weeks ago?
I don't have an answer why it's not 3 weeks ago and why it's next week.
No, but that is a good question, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah, it's a good question. We've tried to be perfectionists with everything because it's been our baby, and we're like, listen, we need to get this exactly spot on.
No, it's just the time that you've taken to do that. I wonder if you're drinking too much of your own product.
Maybe not enough, Peter.
You're into slow flow. To have that money in your account 3 or 4 weeks ago, genuinely, I'd like to have seen that sold. So for that reason, sadly, I'm out.
Peter Jones is unimpressed with the entrepreneur's sluggish approach to selling their stock, and he becomes the first dragon to decline a deal. And it appears Tuka Suleiman thinks the coffee concept will take too long to become a business with big returns.
Guys, to create a premium coffee takes time.
Sure.
And it will take you, I would say, years to get to £1 million.
The adaptogens market is set to be worth 19 billion by 2027. You know, we're in a really cool space.
Guys, it's all good. But at the end of the day, this is a long journey. I'm only taking journeys that I can see in front of me. This is one that I can't. So on that basis, I'm not going to invest them out.
Zane, Shez, there's a lot of CBD coffee brands out there, right? It's getting really, really competitive. My issue is, and I'm going to be honest with you, is all the other brands I've seen in this space are way better. Yours is so forgettable to me. And I was actually going to turn to Peter and ask him if he remembered the name of the brand.
London. Zootropics?
Nootropics.
I mean, that in itself for me is pretty telling. The work you're going to have to do is fundamental in transforming this whole proposition, starting from the brand up. And it's probably too much work for me to do on your behalf. So for that reason, I'm out.
Stephen Bartlett thinks the entrepreneur's branding needs a pick-me-up all of its own, and becomes the third dragon to decide it's not his cup of tea. And his concerns appear to have rubbed off on a previously positive Deborah Meaden.
What I feel about the branding, it's worthy, but it's not exciting. There are a lot of people that have entered the marketplace, and you, I think, have probably got a point of differentiation. But I'm not sure it's enough. You haven't nailed this yet. So,
Just before...
Just before...
Before we go any further.
Before we go any further.
You know, I really want to tell you about B2B strategy, because I think there's so much potential for us. You know, on the corporate side, we think our blends are perfect for corporate gifting. Stock them in the offices, help your teams find productivity and find their flow. On the hospitality side as well, I think there's so much potential. We think that they're ideal for when you wake up in a hotel. You've got something different. How many times do you go in a hotel and you see the same old coffee there?
Well, you're just going to keep talking until I say I'm going to make you an offer.
Absolutely.
I like your approach to life.
You're good. I'm sorry. I'm You're good.
Thank you. Thank you. This is our chance, you know. I don't want to ramble on, but I need to tell you the juicy stuff.
No, you do.
We're talking to the Department of International Trade at the moment, and they have a contact in the Emirates catering team. They think we're perfect for Emirates, and they're happy to introduce us.
So, do you know, I love all of that, and that's made me like you even more, but there is a problem with all of that. I hear all of the possibles, but it hasn't dropped into place.
So, you know, Deborah,
Don't do it. Don't. Stop it.
Deborah, I know enough all about coffee, and I know enough all about adaptogens. But I know there's two cracking entrepreneurs here. So, I'd be willing to take a punt on these two. But I don't have any of the market knowledge and insight to be able to do it on my own.
There aren't many people who can stop me saying those two words. But blimey, if anybody can make this work, you guys can. So, I'm going to make you an offer. And I'm going to offer you half of the money. And I want 15% for my 25,000.
I will also offer you half of the money, 25,000, for 15% of the business. I think you guys might want to go and chat to our rather helpful wall over there.
Wise wall.
An impassioned plea from the plucky entrepreneurs has resulted in a dramatic change of fortune, convincing a dragon on the cusp of desertion, Deborah Meaden, to change her mind and table a joint offer with Sarah Davies.
They're both very good.
They are bloody brilliant.
At 3 times the equity they hoped to give away,
It's going down to 20.
can they now charm their way to a better deal?
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
So we've spoken to the trusty wall, and the wall has told us to kindly ask you guys if you would come down after 18 months, if you can get your money back, to 10% each.
And we'd love to do that with you both.
Yeah. I want to make you guys proud.
You've got a great way with words.
That's one dragon down. Deborah?
See, these things are always counterintuitive to me, but I would meet you halfway. I would be prepared to offer you back the 2.5%.
I'd match that deal.
So, would be delighted to go on this journey with you guys.
Well done.
I'm so happy for you guys. That's really good.
Well
excited
done.
to be in business
Yeah,
with you
really
too.
excited.
Really excited.
Lovely to meet all of you. It's a privilege.
Zane and Shez found their flow to make a remarkable comeback. They leave the den with the £50,000 they were seeking, and a deal which stunned the dragons as much as the entrepreneurs.
What just happened?
Deborah kind of, I don't know, the way she was talking, I was thinking, Deborah, you're not going to say those 2 words.
Yeah, that's literally fair.
Couldn't I say them?
I think you have invested in 2 stellar entrepreneurs.
Cheers to that.
An extraordinary finale as the coffee entrepreneur's tenacity clinches them a deal to join a children's toy designer in tonight's victory camp. Just proving that in the den, even when the chips are down, fortune very much favours the brave. Next time on Dragon's Den.
Oh, have you ever ridden a bike before?
Deb, you are down.
Did you just call me Deb?
Deborah, sorry.
I'm losing my mind here because it's such a simple question. We want you in a business. We came here for you.
Are you
This is going to be the start of a great relationship. Ooh.